Hey, first hour. We have a little guest teacher here today. This is Gio. He's joining me to give you guys instructions since I will be in meetings this period. I'm going to preface this with you don't necessarily need to listen to me. You can go straight to the daily slides and work through them on your own. But for those who are more auditory learners, I am going to walk you through this. Sorry for any distractions as I am doing my best to multitask. So, guys, today's lesson involves the art of questioning. Part of our skills for our reflection log that we're going to be working on all year is communication. So, we're going to do a little bit of working with questions so that we can get really good at communicating effectively and having Socratic seminars and talking about books and all of the wonderful things. Okay. So that's what I'm going to walk you through today. So here's what I'd like you to do. You're going to take out your notebook, and I'd like you to take a few minutes this morning, take about 3 minutes to journal. What do you know about open questions, closed questions? What are the advantages and disadvantages of each? Take a minute now to pause the video if you're listening to go ahead and journal. Okay, welcome back. Now that you've done your journal, here is a review of open-ended and closed-ended questions. So we know closed questions typically end in a yes or no answer. They are easier to analyze, and they're great for polls and a questionnaire. However, it doesn't give you a lot to work with, and they don't allow for a lot of processing, which is what we really want to do is critical thinking. Oh, you don't like that? So open-ended questions, yeah, they're a little more time consuming to complete, but it helps us elicit a wide variety of responses and gets more of a discussion flowing. There you go. Okay, so you can pause this slideshow and actually watch this video. It's just a funny clip from an older show about what happens when we don't ask the right questions. So the skill that we're going to be reflecting on in our skill log, guys, is I'm able to ask higher order thinking questions that help us grapple with an author's intent or purpose. Yeah. So what we're going to do is something called a question formulation technique. And these are the rules, okay? So you're going to produce your own questions, but you're going to ask as many questions as you can. Don't stop to discuss them, record them exactly as stated, and change any statements that you make into questions. Once you've created those questions, what I want you to do is number them, okay? After you've done that, take about 3 minutes to do so. Go ahead and prioritize your questions or categorize them first as closed or open and change any questions from one type to another. And then prioritize. Tell me which one you think is the most important. Okay. We'll take some time to share and discuss those and then some time for reflection. So the topic that you're going to be generating questions for in 3 minutes, you'll hit the play button or use a timer on your phone, whatever you need to do, is the topic of stories that matter. You're going to write down as many questions as you can think of in your journals about stories that matter. That's your topic, okay? You're not going to attempt to answer them. You're not going to judge them. You're not going to stop to discuss them. You're just going to keep writing as many questions as you can for 3 minutes and turn any statements into questions. For example, I might ask the question of, what are the stories that don't matter? What types of stories matter most? Are there stories that matter more than others? Okay, so I just gave you 3 examples. So go ahead and press pause on this video if you're following along and set a timer for 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so now that we're back, you're gonna go ahead and look back at your questions and number them. Identify whether they're closed or open. Change any open-ended questions to closed-ended questions and any closed-ended questions to open-ended questions. This might sound silly, but the purpose of this is to get you thinking about how to rephrase questions and play around with how you word them so you can elicit the best conversation moving forward. Take 3 minutes to do this. Welcome back. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to be, do you want to participate? Yeah. So we're going to be using our partners to go ahead and practice our questions. You're going to read all of your questions to your shoulder partner. Okay. Your shoulder partner is not going to answer them. They're not going to judge them. They're not going to do anything. When your partner is done reading them, thank them. Say thank you for sharing. Then the other partner is going to read all their questions. Same thing. Thank you for sharing. Each person will put a mark next to any of their partner's questions if they think are interesting, unique, or essential. Take some time to do that now. Okay, now that we're back, here's what I'd like you to do. Take a moment to look at the questions you wrote and find one question that you are willing to share with the class on Google Classroom in the 6.10 post. It can be one of the questions that your shoulder partner picked, but it doesn't have to be. It can be any question that you want to share, okay? Each person will share their one question of choice in your pod. So take a moment to do that now and pause the video. Welcome back. Now that you've all submitted your questions on Google Classroom, what I'd like you to do is turn to your face partner now, okay? And your face partner is going to answer your question, and you are going to answer your face partner's question, okay? Set the timer for 3 minutes. Keep writing until the timer stops. And yes, you are doing this on Google Classroom, responding to the person who is your face partner. Pause this video and take 3 minutes to do that now. Welcome back. So, besides just asking questions, we have to learn to communicate effectively. Right, Gio? Yeah. Okay. So, one of the things that we are going to work on is working on our preparation, our evidence, our furthering our discussion, our engagement, and then overall. What that looks like is participating by paraphrasing and supporting ideas with examples from the text and from life, elaborating, clarifying, or challenging or building on the idea of others. So the idea is that we're not stagnant in our conversation. The goal is to keep it flowing. Another way is by showing leadership, by actively listening, synthesizing people's ideas, like bringing them together, and then inviting other voices. For the purpose of today's activity, we're going to focus on these two skills of elaboration and clarification. Now, you should have been given a handout. We're going to call these your placemats, okay? Hang on to these. Put them in your folder somewhere safe when we are done. So today we're going to focus on that elaboration and clarification. So elaboration basically means to make meaningful connections or associations, thinking about new ideas, concepts, or prior knowledge related to the idea. Clarification is where you kind of confirm what the person just told you to help get a better understanding of the problem. Okay, so here's an example of elaboration question starters. Did I hear you say, when you said, can you tell me the specifics? Can you give me an example of, so I can be sure to understand, what's another way you might approach the problem? Examples of clarification question starters could be, why do you believe that's true? Why do you think that's so? What are some typical characteristics and behaviors? Okay, so all of these are examples of how you could elaborate and clarify. This is incredible. So what I'd like you to do now is on 6.10, choose your cross partner. So the person across from you now, and look at their how they answered their face partner's question. Ask your cross partner either a clarification question or an elaboration question directly on Google Classroom. Set the timer for 3 minutes. Keep writing until the timer stops. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of that, and hopefully you did okay without me today, I will make sure I clarify anything for you on Friday. And thank you guys so much for being an awesome first period and really taking ownership of your learning. As you check out today, what I'd like you to do in your journal is take a little bit of time to reflect. Why did you choose your question that you posted in the first place? Are you surprised at the conversation your question generated? Why or why not? And then upon reflection, would you have chosen to post a different question? If so, which one? Why or why not? That's it for today, guys. Make sure that you have completed your no red ink grammar, and also that you have completed your inferences for those 4 vignettes that you chose, in addition to your part 1 graphic organizer. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you Friday.